Hello, hello. Somebody jumped on. Say hi when you're here. Hi, Joyce. Okay, so now that we have someone, we're going to go ahead and get started. And so, hi, Lauren. So last night, I have my supplies ready tonight. I had to prepare tonight. So sometimes I wing it. And I'm not totally prepared. I'm just kind of going to play around. Hey, Michelle. So this is our trucks that we colored last night. Hello, Cheryl. And it's from this stamp set, which is called You Got Dumped. So we just stamped 2 and we masked. So that's the stamp set that we already have colored. And then I was trying to figure out how we could decorate these trucks to be Christmassy, so to speak. So we did red and green. And now we need a background for this. And we need to decorate our trucks. So they look, hi Donald. So they look like Christmassy trucks, like hauling Christmas. So I pulled out these other 2 stamp sets that we have. So we have Rudolph and Elfin' Around. I think this one might be out of stock right now, but it's been ordered, so you know. Oh no, it hasn't because it's Christmas time. So it's out of stock, but if you already have it, you can use it. So what I did was I decided to use the little present that's on this girl, in this girl's hand right here. So I just stamped part of the hand and the present like 6 times. And then I fussy cut them out, just the little present, because I didn't want you guys to have to watch that on camera. So I just cut those out. Hey, Mama. And so I cut 6 presents that I would like to put in the back of these trucks. And we'll go over how we're going to do that here in just a little bit. So I'm going to use the Elfin' Around. And then we're going to put Christmas lights on the truck. So I was thinking along the edge where the Christmas presents are. He could be standing in the back of the truck. He could. There were so many ideas I had. I thought about putting them here, throwing presents in, but I mean, there's just not a whole lot of room. And once you put that character on here, it kind of takes up a lot of space, and then the girl looks bigger than the truck. So I didn't think the perspective was all that great. Now, you could try it and see what you think, but that's kind of how I thought. So this stamp right here is all these different light pieces that intertwine with the moose's antlers. But what I wanted to do was just take this one strip of lights right here. I stamped out this one strip of lights twice, once for each truck. And then I fussy cut them so they would be ready for me to color tonight with you guys. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to color something that's been fussy cut that's only this big. But I am. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to try a new method. When we went to the Dollar Tree recently, hi Gayla, went to the Dollar Tree recently and we picked up this little thing called Standard Grip, and it's a sticky mat for whatever you want to use it for. But I thought if I put these little lights on here, it would hold them still for me and the presents on the sticky mat while I colored them. So I've already fussy cut them, and now we're going to color them. And then we're going to put them on the trucks. And we're also going to do a background to cover the trucks. So I was thinking like a road here. And it's going to go all the way up to about right there. So it's going to be a pretty thick looking road right there, because we need the white dash lines to go between the trucks so you can see that there's 2 lanes on the road. And then I've chosen the sentiment on this one. I'm going to make this kind of funny. It's called, so on this stamp set it says, may all your regifting go unnoticed this year. And I thought that was super funny. So I think I'm going to stamp that up here in the corner, and we'll get to that. I have not pre-stamped that, so we'll do that after when we get there. But yeah, these mats were only $1.25 at Dollar Tree. I bought 2 of them just in case they didn't hold their sticky very long, but I can always use pixie spray. But I thought they were super cool. So really cheap and quick and easy. I thought they would work really well. So that's what we're going to do. I also cut 2 pieces of paper as well, just because I thought when I'm doing the road, this could give me, one of them could give me a guide for my, so I can keep my line straight. And hey Allison, it's super great to see you. I also have my little, this is my X-Acto knife. I have several of them, but this one Jamie got me. It's pretty cool. I think it was just an Amazon one. But we're going to use it to get the presents in the back of the truck. So we need our X-Acto knife. And then I'm going to use some gel pens tonight. Hi, Rinska. At the Dollar Tree. Yeah, exactly. It just, it was the first time I'd seen it, and I actually got them in Louisiana, at the Dollar Tree in Louisiana, when I was there this past weekend. So, this is the silver gel pen, which I want to use, for the top, for the bows, or maybe even some of the lines on the presents. So I got this gel pen. I also have my gold gel pen, so I may do silver and gold. Not exactly sure. But I have my white gel pen for the dashes on the road to separate the lanes. So I have all that handy. And then in addition to that, I am going to need my tweezers for placing all this stuff into my picture. So I'm just giving you a quick rundown. That way everybody knows what to expect during the video. I have pulled out 5 colors. Now, we talked last night about using the W colors on the tires, the C's underneath the truck, and the T's on the bed. So we're going to play with the ends for the road. That way you can see how all the different grays look in comparison to each other. Right now you can tell all 3 of them look completely different. And then this one, we'll be able to see how that one matches up as well. So in addition to that, I pulled all my colors for my lights. So I just pulled 2 for each, 1 dark, 1 light, 1 dark, 1 light, 1 dark, 1 light, 1 dark, 1 light. So that we could do them in red, yellow, blue, orange, and green, which is typical. Sometimes they have purple in them, but I wasn't really feeling like putting purple in this picture, so I didn't choose that. We have blue for the sky and green and brown, potentially for trees. I'm thinking I might add like something else in the background over my sky, but I'm not sure yet, so we're just going to kind of wing that as we go along. I've also chosen my card base, which is red, and then this is my insert. So we'll get to all of those parts a little bit later on. I'm going to set my trucks aside, and we're going to start with coloring these images so we can get ready for placing them in the truck. So we are going to do a little coloring tonight, but it won't be a lot. I am going to use these same colors for my presents because they're small and I don't need a lot of detail in them. We have a lot of detail in the trucks. This standard grip thing comes with a plastic cover on it, so I already put them on the sticky part and put this over it because cutting them out kind of made them curve up a little bit. You can put this back over top of it after you use it, but I put them along the edge so my hand wouldn't be sitting on the sticky part. So first we'll do the little presents, and then we'll come around and we'll do the little lights. So I might actually need to start with the lights because they don't want to stay on the paper. So we'll start with the lights and get those done. They'll be pretty quick and they're not that hard, but I am going to zoom in like all the way so you can really see what I'm doing. It's very quick and easy process. I'm not going to put them in my color blend stand because I'm only using 2 colors and it's going to go by really fast. So we're just going to do them straight off of sitting over here on my desk. I will put the cap though so you can see what color I'm using. So I'm going to start, I put them in the color combo I wanted to start. So red, yellow, blue, orange, green. So I'm going to start with a really dark red. So I chose R59, and I'm just going to start on the edge of the light and move forward. So I'm just going to put a little dot in the center, if you can see that. I could say red, yellow, blue, orange, green. Then it's going to be red again here. And then yellow, blue, orange, green, and red will be here again. So red will be several times, which is totally fine with me. And then I'm going to take my R35, which is much lighter than the R59, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend out that light. Now I want to leave it so you see dark in the center and lighter on the outside. So I'm going to be going from the outside towards where I put the darkest color. So here, let me do that one more time so you can see it. So I'm going to start from here, and I'm going to blend into that darkest color so that we can see that color really well. So that's it. These lights are super easy to color. I only used 2 colors, so it's not difficult. They look really cute when you put them around Rudolph, or around the moose, but we're not doing that tonight. So Y19 is the yellow I chose. So I'm going to do this one's the dark one. Then it always follows red, so it'll be right here and right here. So I'm doing them all in the same order. The other yellow I chose was Y11. Again, a big jump from 19 to 11, but I really want you to be able to see the dark and the light inside the lights. Probably this sticky mat would hold a lot better if it was a bigger, because these presents seem to be sitting on there just fine, but these lights, they're finicky. Okay, so blue is next. I chose B37, so that's going to be this one. And then after the yellow, it's going to be this one. And then that's where they end. So there'll only be 2 blue on this one. The other one I chose was B23. There we go. And then going into orange, we have YR18. So I'm going to do this one and then this one. And we only have 2 orange. Ooh, slippery little suckers. Okay, YR04 is the other orange I chose. So Michelle, I'm putting lights on the trucks. I know you really wanted, I think it was you who really wanted to see lights on the trucks. This is YG67. Now, I could have just drew them, but I wanted to use the stamp set because not everybody feels comfortable actually drawing them themselves. So, hi Kathy. The next color I chose for the green was YG13. Again, I'm pulling from the outside towards where I put that darkest color, so it just kind of gives a little bit of dimension to those lights, which is what I really wanted. Now, I feel like even though I stamped it, and I did stamp it in, you know, Memento ink, I still want to go in there and use my multi-liner and really give it a good solid black line. So if I can find my, oh, look at that. I forgot I had that. Okay, so we're going to use this. I have a Memento ink pen. I know that's unusual. I found it at some sale somewhere. Tuesday morning or something like that, and I picked it up since it was memento, and it has a fine tip on one end and it has a brush nib on the other. So what I want to do is just darken the parts that are up, what do they call that, the plug part or whatever you, the socket. I just want to deepen those up so that it makes the light stand out more. Can you tell? It just makes a, I just think it makes a big difference. It's a little more noticeable when you're looking at it in real life. But I just want to make that a little bit more dark. Okay, so I'm just doing it on each one just to make that stand out, because we are going to do one more step with these lights after we get the whole card done, and I think it will really help to have this black in there. That's why we're doing it right now. Hopefully you can see the difference. I don't really care so much about the string as I did about the socket part of the lights. So I'm going to lift off my little lights so we have them like this, and I'm going to set them aside, and we're going to work on the presents. So now I have 2 lights and 6 presents is what I think I want. I don't think I'll need more than 6 presents. I don't know if I'll need all 6 presents, but we're gonna go with it anyway. So I for sure want to do one red and 1 green for sure, because the trucks are red and green. So I want to make a red one. So this line right here is the ribbon, and this line is the ribbon. This one right here just shows the corner edge of the present. I'm going to make it a little bit longer and just kind of make it a little more defined. And I'm going to come in and put a little bit of shadow, like right there where the ribbon crosses over. So I only paid $1.25 for this sticky mat, so if I write on it with the marker, I'm okay with that. It was cheap. I mean, I'm going to try not to, but if I do, I'm okay with that. I still have a lot of the mat left I can use, so I'm really going on each panel, on each side of where the ribbon will be. And since these presents are so tiny, I'm only going to use 2 colors of red. The 2 colors of red I've already pulled out. These are the same colors as the lights, so it will all match in the end. That is my plan. So that was the R59. And then this one is the R35. Why I always put that upside down, I do not know. So just excuse me on that. Then I'm just going to blend this in a little bit and try to get a little bit of a smooth transition between those 2 colors. Might have been nicer to add a 3rd, but this just shows that you can do simple if you want. Or if we feel like we need just a little bit more, we can do tip to tip. So this is the R59, this is the R35, and I'll just touch the top and extend out where that dark is. And now we really only needed 2 colors for this. And it'll put a little bit more shadow in there, which I think I like. So I think I'm going to keep doing that. Kind of like the way that's coming out. When you're done doing the tip to tip and you want to make sure that the marker goes back to the lightest color, just grab a scrap piece of paper and just wipe your marker on it until you get your true color back. So you can see right there it was much darker and now it's much lighter. So I know that I'm back to that very light color. I'll finish blending this out. Lightest color, and there we go. Now we have a little present. So that was pretty easy to do. So we're probably going to do that tip to tip method with all of these because there's such a big jump in the colors. Hello, Linda. Another Linda. We have two Lindas is watching. I'm going to color all the presents and then we'll go back and do the bows and ribbons and such. So now I want to do the green because I told you I definitely wanted a red and green present in the trunk. So of each, one red in the green truck and one green in the red truck. So YG67, I'm just going to follow the same process. Again, these presents are pretty quick and easy to do. So I'm just going to extend out this line. I just like that line there, but you don't have to if you don't want to. It really is the fold in the present, the corner of it, so that's good. Hi, Brenda. Welcome, welcome. We are coloring some presents to put in the back of our trucks. So we're going to have to, I'm going to leave this marker open because I'm going to do tip to tip. I'm also going to use YG13, but I want that middle color before I go to the lightest color. So using just a little bit different tactic for this present because I changed my mind on two colors halfway through the first one. And that's what happens when you're doing a live. You change your mind. And we're all allowed to do that, whatever works best. Sometimes I have a theory, and once I get started, it isn't panning out the way I wanted, so I just change it on the fly. Okay, so now I have that second color in there, and I want to blend it out. So I'm going to come back to that little piece of paper I had, and just do this back and forth until I get rid of that dark color. If I hold this up, you'll be able to see. You see how it has the dark color in the beginning and then it stops over here. So now I know I don't have that tip to tip color on here anymore. And now I'm going to use this bright color to blend it all out. And yeah, you guys can probably hear my hand sticking to this mat because it is a sticky mat holding my presents still. But it's doing great. Super happy. So now we have a second present. And now I have to decide, do I want to do, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do one more green present, one more red present, and then we'll switch it. And I'll make the ribbon the color of the red and green, and I'll make the present package paper the either silver or gold. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Instead of putting a whole bunch of different colored presents in the back of the truck, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to draw away from the fact that I'm trying to make this into a Christmas card with stamp sets that aren't necessarily Christmas. So the trucks weren't necessarily made for Christmas, but I'm showing you how you can make them into Christmas cards. Multi-use. I love multi-use stuff. So we are doing our shadow in our darkest color. I don't really know how I'm going to be putting these in the truck as far as which present's going to be where, so the lighting isn't really all that important on my agenda at the moment. I'm going to do the tip to tip, which I highly recommend you do directly on the nibs. Don't use any excess stuff that's gelled outside of your pen. It's not really good for the nib. I've watched some videos where people have recommended that, but I can tell you from experience that's not a good idea. Because once you get that gelled up ink in your pen, it's a goner. So you do not want to do that. Okay, so now we're back. Hi, Mary Jo. So I'm going to go ahead and close my YG67 because for now I'm finished with that. And then I'm going to use my scrap paper to clean off my nib again that had the other color on it. Just want to make sure I get it all off before I blend them together. There we go. So now we have 3 presents done. Need to go light a fire under my sun to get him ready for bed. I will catch the rest on replay. Okay, thank you for stopping by, Lauren. Hey, thanks, Mary Jo. Okay, I want to go back to the red because I want to do another red present. So R59. And again, I'm just following the same exact shadow areas on each present, even though they'll be arranged differently in the back of the truck. I think it won't really matter. The impact of how cute, I hope, it will turn out to be, it won't really matter where the shadow areas are exactly. So I think we'll be okay. Okay, then laying down my R59, picking up my R35, which you can't, there you go. And then tip to tip. So again, I'm going right onto the darker nib with the lighter color. Always dark to light. Pick it up with the light off of the dark marker. You can kind of watch it, and if you see it getting light again, then you'll just go hit that little nib again. Darken it up one more time. And then when you're done with the tip to tip, then just wipe it on excess paper until you get back to your regular red color, and then blend out. That kind of gives you a 3-color combo with 2 markers. It's just a little trick you can do. There we go. That one's a little darker than that one, but I can tell you, you could give me 2 and say color them exactly the same, and it never turns out that way. It's never exactly the same. That's why it's a masterpiece. Okay, so we are still going to use some red and green. Oh, hubby hit the camera, so give me 1 second. Sorry about that little earthquake there. Now I'm going to do just the ribbon of this one green and just the ribbon of this one red. So we're going to go back to the red pen, R59, and this time I'm going to start up here in the bow area, and with the darkest shade I'm just going to start filling in the center part because that's where the deepest shadow will be. And then I'm going to come down here on the ribbon, just kind of doing the bottom and the top areas. Ooh, I almost did that one wrong. Just the ribbon part. Okay. And then with R35, and I shouldn't have closed 59. Although I'm not going to tip to tip on the bow, I am going to do it down the ribbon. So I don't want the ribbon to look funny. So this is not a difficult task to do, to make these presents. I think the fussy cutting was the part that took the longest, but it really only took me about 10 to 15 minutes to fussy cut all of these things out. So it wasn't bad at all. I just want to show how you can use your other stamp sets within your other stamps. Make sure you put the caps on the correct marker so you don't mess yourself up. I just want to show how you can use bits and pieces of other stamp sets to make it seem like you have even more stamp sets. So back to YG 67. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, so I'm going to fill in these center parts right here with this darkest shade. I like how that bow came out. I really like it. And then down the sides here. Along the bottom. And then this other ribbon that's over here. We want to give that part some love too. Are you guys excited to see what we're going to end up doing when we get done with this? What is it going to look like? What am I going to do with these trucks? YG 13 is next. So tip to tip. Do it as many times as you need. Once you have some experience, you'll know when you need to touch the tip of the marker again. All right, done with YG 67. Wiping off the tip just to make sure I have all the 67 off of it, and then blending out with just the YG 13. You could use these presents for so many things. You could use them for birthday or Christmas. There we go. All right. So for the rest of the presents, because there's a lot of white in there, I don't want it to be white, but I decided that I would use my gold and silver gel pens. I think I like the gold with the green and the silver with the red. So I'm going to actually start with this one down here, my gel pen, and I'm going to start coloring in. And you don't really get a dual tone with that, so I'm just going to start coloring in my gold package here. So most of my gel pens, see, they don't have any names on them. They're Pear Blossom Press. They come in a 3-pack. You get gold, silver, and white. They're my favorite pens. So they're the ones that work all the time for me. Other gel pens I have trouble with, like a lot of trouble. I haven't had any trouble with these, but that doesn't mean I won't while we're coloring. We'll just have to see how that goes. So we're being Santa, and we're making Christmas presents for the back of our trucks. I like the golden red, the golden green. Not really a gold person, but I do like the golden green. Now let's try the silver and red and see what we think. So this one is the silver pen. Again, there's no writing on the pen, but it is Pear Blossom Press gel pens. We're working on getting some of them back in stock. But in the meantime, if you go to the website, www.sweetsentiment.us, and you click on My Favorite Things at the top, there's a link to Pear Blossom Press. So if you are interested in those, you can definitely check them out there. And don't hesitate to stop and shop while you're there. Look around, see what we got. Lots of cool stuff. Just coloring this in. This is old-timey coloring. All one color with the gel pen. Trying not to go over the black line too much that's on there that shows the fold in the box, because that's kind of my only part that shows it's 3D. So there we go. I'm liking my gold. Hi Nancy. I'm liking that. I'm liking my silver. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and do the bow on this one in silver as well. Same thing with this one. This one I don't have to talk much about my procedure of coloring, because I think everybody knows how to color with the gel pen. My only suggestion when you're coloring with the gel pen is don't color over the black, because it will literally cover up the black, and that takes out some of your, unless that's what you want, but the black kind of helps it show the form and everything. It's looking great. You're liking our presents. Yay! Let's switch to the gold and put the gold on this present. I'm liking them. I wanted to keep them red and green, so I'm super happy that they're coming out okay. In red and green only, and gold and silver. If you guys watch the Rudolph show, that one guy is always looking for silver and gold. I watched some Christmas movies with Cooper today. Is anybody else working on Christmas cards? Yeah. I think I'm going to switch these two up. That way there'll be one of each kind of present in the back of the box. So I'll do gold with this red one. You see how these gel pens just work every time you touch the paper? I love these gel pens. A lot of times I have problems with other gel pens. I've tried lots of different ones. But this one always writes for me. The white is the same way. And I just love it. So the red and gold's not too bad. He's feeling good today. Hi, Wanda. He was feeling better today. He's over the flu, and he's still a little congested, but he did the Z-Pack, so I felt it was safe for him to hang out with me. But his lips are very chapped, and that's why he was crying during the video last night. I don't know if you guys could hear him in the background, but I could. He was a very good boy. While I'm coloring this, since I can't really give you any coloring instruction for this, I'll tell you that I redesigned my son's room, because my son has been gone for almost 6 years now. I redesigned his room in Spider-Man for Cooper. So Cooper got to stay in it for the first time last night, and he was so excited he had a room upstairs. So I'm going to use my tweezers to lift these off the mat. It's super easy. I did get a little bit of red on that one, but I think I'm okay with that. I was a little worried about these not lifting up, but they seem to be lifting up just fine. So now we have them colored. I'm going to let them sit for just a little bit, because a gel pen doesn't always dry as fast as a Copic marker. And then I'm going to place this plastic. I'm going to zoom out now so you can see what I'm doing. There's all my little presents. Hi, Nicole. I'm going to lay my plastic back over this mat so I can use it again. And I'm just going to use my espresso here to press that on there so it doesn't come off. But again, this is just called a standard grit mat. I got it at Dollar Tree. Saved me a little money. It was Dale's idea. He brought it over to me and said, hey, do you think you could use this? And I was like, yeah. So there you go. That's what happened. Hello, Nicole. Okay. So I think what we want to do is start working on the background, and then we'll add the accents we just colored after we're done. You got 2 of them yourself? Awesome. See? Same as me. That's right. Okay, so I think we're going to work on the background. The very first thing that we need to do, I think, is we need to decide where our road is going to be. Because we need to do the road, then we need to do the sky, and then we'll worry about what we're going to do with the ground. I can't decide at this point yet if I want to do it a brownish color so it looks like dirt, because there's not really grass if it's winter, or there's not in Texas anyway. Or if I want to put the brown down and then put snow over it, because I don't know if you guys remember when I did a live a while back with this snowfall accent stuff. I thought maybe we could use that again for snow around the road, but we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. Honey, could you shake that up really, really good for me in case I decide to use it? You guys know me well, those who watch all the time, that when I start this out, I like to sketch it with the lightest color that I'm going to use. So in this case, for the road, I'm going to use ends. And I am going to get my color blend stand out. So it looks like this. I'm going to use N8, N6, N5, N4, and N3. So since I'm using N for the road, I'm going to go ahead and use N0 to kind of sketch out where I want that road to be. So I put this mat on here upside down. It's a cutting mat, but it has straight lines, and I thought that the straight lines would help me keep my roads kind of straight since the trucks are stamped on there pretty straight. So I'm just going to lay this little piece of paper right here, kind of to keep it where I want it, and then I'm just going to draw this line here to show me where I want that road to go. So I want the road to go out this far. And then on the other end, maybe here. I think about right there is where I want to put it. And this piece of paper is going to help me put my line here. And then my line this way. So that gives me the basis of where I want that to be. I'm going to look at these. I'm going to place it now sort of in between these squares so I can see where the center is. So the center line is about right here. So I'm going to use this again to line it up. I usually don't do this much measuring, but with these trucks on there, I want to make sure I get my lines looking straight and it not looking funky, especially since someone on the video might actually get this as a Christmas card. Okay, so that's where the center of my road is going to be. He's in the wrong lane, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to move it down just a little bit, even though that's my center. I'll move it down to about right here. So we're going to use that one instead. It's okay if we have different lines on here because we're going to color over it anyway, so it's not really going to matter. Okay. So now I have the basis for where I want my road to be. The sky will be at the top, something will be at the bottom, and we'll go on from there. Might be some trees, might not, I don't know. Haven't decided. I don't like to color with anything but glass mat underneath my paper. So I'm going to remove that, and we're going to zoom in again so you guys can really see. Now you can probably see those lines a little better that I put on the road. I'll follow them somewhat, but I don't have to follow them exact because they're so light you won't be able to see them. But with this being N8, I want the darkest to be on the outside of the road, so towards the grass. So I'm just going to start sketching this in, and I want it to be along that line. So for now, that's why we did it with the light color, so we'd know, you know, where we wanted it to be and about how we wanted it to look. Just kind of got ourselves a basis for that. I don't want the road to be really dark, but the edges I think need to be kind of dark. And then up here, this is going to be the end of our road. So we're putting this guy, these guys on a highway, traveling with some packages in the back of their car. So the next one I'm going to use is N6. And I'm going to start by expanding out from here. I'm going to start building in this road. I'm using the side of my marker. I'm not using the tip. I'm getting a lot of color in there. But it's a lot easier to do if I build this wall with the darker color first. So I'm just kind of putting it in there sort of at random. We'll add more if we need it in certain spots. The roads are never exactly the same. Wherever you go, there's always bumps and potholes, so we don't have to be perfect. I'm going to do the same thing coming from this way for this side, being very careful when I get close to the truck. This one I'm going to be very careful so I don't cover his grill. Okay. So the next color is our true color. So it's going to be N5. And I've never done a road like this, so not really sure how it's going to turn out, but we're hoping it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to start extending out from where I put that last color. I'm going to use quite a bit more, a little bit more liberally. Make sure it's blending out because this is the true color. I got to start being careful when I get kind of close to the truck, because I don't want to color over the color I already have in the truck. Now this is all underneath the truck, so it would have more of a shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and color in this darker shade here. I'm going to have to go over that to get the colors to really blend. I am going to come back and do this part as well, but I'm only going to go up to here. We'll put some shadow in later. Right now I'm just building the road. I like this color. It's looking pretty good because I was not sure exactly how this was going to come out, but I like that it's different than the other colors. So you can see that these W's, while some people say, oh, you only need, you know, C's or W's or C's and W's, but you don't need the N's and T's. Probably in a beginner, I would say you don't necessarily need them if you don't want to own all the markers, but there is a big variation between them. So as long as you know that, I'm going to turn it upside down because I'm going to do a little bit from this center line, very small, but right where I'm going to put that dotted line, that white dotted line, I'm going to put a little bit of this color there. It's just going to show the break where the line is. We'll be blending out from there so you won't see a white line, but for now I'm going to leave like a white line just to kind of get us some going here. It's all going to sound a little weird, but we're going to keep going. I'm going to come down from this one quite a bit more without going over the back of the truck. I don't want to go over the back of the truck. I want to keep all my different grays. I'm going to do just inside here, along here, and then here. Oops, I almost colored in the headlight. Almost. But I caught myself. I'm going to just draw a little barrier line there so I don't color into the green with the gray. I don't want to make my windows gray. Okay, so we're starting to get a road. Starting to come along a bit. Probably want to do just a little bit above the hood of this car so it starts looking like it goes behind there. Okay. This is fun. What do you guys think? It's looking good so far? Are you nervous for me? Just kidding. N4 is next. Again, we're going to go from this way to this way, and we'll leave a little bit in between. So I'm going to keep going this way. This one I'm going to do a little bit faster because this is going to start moving color, and I don't want to move around the color too much. I'm going to do this one a little bit faster just to keep that color blend going the way I want it to be. Now you'll notice it's starting to put some texture in this road, which I really love, and that was very important. So because this has more texture than this, we're going to go over this color to kind of push some of that around and hopefully give it that same road look. Just kind of make that whole road look the same. I have to go upright with my marker right underneath there because I don't want to color that gray part that way. I'm going to go under here. This is right under a car. We may have to put a little bit darker color in there, so I'm going to pull out my N5 again real quick and put just a little bit up underneath here because there'd be more shadow under here. Just get me a little bit of shadow in there. Back to my N4. Blending that out a little bit. Same thing with this one. I'm going to go this way. Then I'm going to come this way. I'm going to get real careful around this gray part as well. I'm going to keep blending this until it looks the way I want it to look. Starting to look good. I'm liking it. You guys are liking it. That's awesome. Same thing with the front end. We need that. And then we're going to start pulling from the other direction. Now we're going to start going from this way over. I'm going to turn my paper so I can do it a little bit faster. First we'll do this part right here, and then we'll do this. Get that going. Don't want to leave too much white area because the next color that we chose is going to really push that ink. Be careful around the window and around the truck. Careful, careful. But if you accidentally go over it, well, there's always a way you can fix it. Happy accidents. I probably need to put a little bit of this N5 in this little area right here, otherwise it looks kind of funny. So we kind of had to go back and forth with that N5 a few times. Okay, then up from here, leaving small areas of white, very small areas of white. Starting to come together. We have almost a whole road here. Probably want to add just a little bit here over that because I think that's just too stark white. It's going to mess up when I use the N3. And that's just experience on how your markers work, knowing that it's how it's going to behave. Okay, so N3, this is where I'm going to start filling it in. So I'm going to do a little bit of this back and forth to kind of blend this together. I'm not going to do a whole lot because this is really going to move the ink. Now the road looks really cool. I'm going to do a little bit down here even though I already have the color in there. Same thing here. This is going to give texture. I'm not doing it for any other reason. That's why I'm doing it fast, is just to give me a little bit of texture in there. For here, I'm texture and blending. So spending a little bit more time on that part. Back and forth, that helps to blend. It's kind of a quick motion, kind of quick, working with it pretty quick. Oh, you like that? It's a little bit light here. I'd almost say I might want to come back in with my N4 real quick and just throw a few streaks in there just to make it darker, because I want it to be just a little bit darker. And then I'll go in again with this one and blend it out together. There we go. So now we just need to fix what's up underneath here and then our white line. Okay, so for our white line, I am really gonna just sit over top of that. I'm not even going to lift the pen off my paper. I want to be able to see where that line is, but I don't want to be able to see it too awful well. I want to be able to know where to put my white lines, but I don't want it to be too stark obvious. So, just going to touch it a few more places, keeping that line there, but covering it just a little bit. That really helps me know where my line is, which I'm super happy about. So there we go. Now we have a road. And I'll point out right now, this is, honey.
Sorry.
This is the T's. This is the C's color family. This is the W, and this is the N. So now you can see all the different colors, and they're all pretty different. You can tell that the T's and the W's are more on the similar warm side, and the N's and the C's are more on the cool side. So that really gives you an idea of kind of how that works. I love that this part came out lighter than the other part. I'm loving it. Okay, so we're done with that part. So now I'm going to work on a little bit of sky up here, because we'd have to put sky in before we can put anything else. And I think we're going to put some other stuff in there. So I chose B45. You like it? Yay! B52 and B41 for my sky. So B45 will be really dark, so we're going to start with that one. And we're going to put that more on the outside of the sky. I pulled the B52 because what you'll see with the B52, and I'm using the sketch the chisel side of the nib so I can do it just a little bit faster. So I can get the whole piece done before it dries. It also makes it easier here for me. It doesn't have to be blended really well because we're going to blend with the other colors. But I'm also going to use it real quick before I keep going along this edge. Just because I want to get the edge of the paper colored as well. Because when we put this on a card, I don't want that white showing in the sky. Although it would kind of look like clouds. But the reason I picked the B52 is because it's going to give it that little bit of cloudy look, like when it's snowing. To me, this is what a snowy sky would look like. Not that I would have any idea what a snowy sky would look like because we don't get snow in Texas, but I would think it would have more of this blue with a little bit of grayish feel to it. So I'm blending this out. I'm using my chisel end again. Whoops, off camera. Hi, Juanita. I'm using my chisel end again so I can cover large areas super fast. Blending these so you can't see that area where the other marker stopped and this marker starts. I am going to do a little bit more around the car. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to use the chisel end. You can use the other end. You want to be really careful when you're going around the red. I think we need this. Hold up. I think we need some road in here. So I'm going to take N4 because I forgot to draw that line in here. See, it needs to go to here. So we need this because this is between the cars. So we need that. We need to be able to see that that's road. I'm going to use the N5 to darken some of that area up a little bit, just so it looks more like the road. And then I'm going to hit it with the N3 real quick, just to give it that texture and look of the road. And then I can go back to my B52. In here is where I want to put this sky color here. And then I want to come along the trucks too, which won't really matter that much because I'm going to put presents in the back of the truck. So it's not really going to matter all that much. So far we're getting a pretty clear sky with snow. I think I might put snow down here. I think it needs to have snow. Okay, so this is B41. And first I'm going to go over some of the B52 and kind of blend that out. And I'll come back and smooth out this transition down here in a minute. Well, right now actually. But just kind of going over the other colors a little bit to saturate the paper again. Since some of that had time to dry because I had missed the road part. Watching it from the beginning has been so cool. I'm sorry I had to split it in 2 videos, but it's just when we're doing something like this, we just can't, I don't want to keep you guys, so, I mean, I'd love to hang out with you guys for hours and hours, but because I can color that long, but I'm sure nobody wants to watch or listen to me talk about coloring for, 3 hours. So I'm just trying to fill it in now, get that sky filled in. And then I'm going to have to go in and work on the transitions between the last color and this color. And I'm okay with a little bit of not smooth transition between them, but where the front of the car is and stuff like that, that has to be pretty smooth. It can have a little, it can be a little bit darker because it'll look like the truck is shadowing throwing a shadow over there, but we're probably going to put other stuff on here anyway, so it's not really going to matter all that much. I'm going to go over this again because I look like I had like some weird color going on there. And that might be because I put this lighter color over top of that and drowned it out, the B52. So if you do that, don't worry. You can go back in with the B52. Saturate that up a little bit more. And all will be right in the world. You can go back and forth. I sometimes do that. Kind of gives me a really good blend when I just mix the two colors together. So this is just kind of throwing a sky color in there. We still have quite a difference between this and that, so I'm not liking that. Pulling it all together. So I think I'm going to do a quick coat of this B52 all over it, and then I'll go back with the 41 to lighten up some areas. But I don't want it to be that stark of a difference. I just wasn't happy with how that looked. So now I'm going to go back in with some streaky lines with my B41, just to kind of make this guy look a little angry because maybe it was snowing, but I think we're good. There we go. One little spot that was still acting crazy. I do think behind this truck is too light, so I'm going to add some more of this B52 back there. And then that makes me happy. So let's make sure we put the right caps back on our markers. It's looking awesome pulling it together now. Oh, you really liking it? I love it.
Show the back of the paper after that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ink on the paper. Well, this was already a pre-printed paper, but you can almost see the whole image on the back of the paper. I do think that you would, I mean, you can leave your, I'm going to do a little bit behind this again because I think this would be darker. There we go. I think you would be able to see some of this through the windshield. So if you wanted to, you could darken the windshield with these colors. But I think I kind of like the white, so I'm going to leave mine like that, but it's not really politically correct, if you will. So that's what we have for that. I think down here, I think I'm going to want this to be snow, and we're going to use that snow stuff that I have and then heat it up and all that kind of stuff. I think we are going to do that, but I need a base of ground underneath it, which I did not choose a color for that yet. But I think what I want to do is I'm going to mix up a few of the different colors together, and I think I'm going to try to make a ground that is just kind of dirt-ish. So E57, 55, 43, 42, and 41. So it's these colors right here. And I'm going to like build a ground, but then we're going to put snow over it. But you'll still be able to see a little bit of the brown underneath. So that's why we have to put that foundation in there. So I'm going to start it out with E57. And I'm not going to use this end this time. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. Hold, please. I'm going to go to the lightest color, which is E41. And I am going to use the sketch side and just build a foundation of color in there. And wet the paper. So this is going to be just a really fast color saturation of the paper, just to wet the paper so these other colors will go on more smooth. So already looking cool. I like it like that. Now I'm going to take my E57 and I'm going to start building a little bit of stuff right here. And I'm doing it kind of in, I don't know, maybe a squiggly. It's not really a brush stroke. It's kind of like a squiggly lines for dirt, you know, because dirt is like that. Some I'm going out a little further, some I'm not. So just kind of random throwing that in there. And we'll get more detail as we go down, but for now I want to get it closest to the road. I want that to be darker. So once I have that part in there, I'm good with that. And then I'm going to start putting in some more random dark, just areas. And we'll blend all of these out. But this is just, I mean, I am literally just putting some just random dirt lines. You're not going to be able to see them all anyway when we get done, because we're going to put snow over it anyway. This is just building the foundation for underneath.
It's like a bunch of doctor signatures.
It looks like a bunch of doctor signatures, my husband says. It kind of does. I could have been a doctor in my other life, right? Instead of an artist, I'm a doctor. Writing me some squiggly lines. I could put mine in there, and you wouldn't even know it. Okay, I'm going to put a little more random over here because this kind of looks a little bit patterned out to me. Okay, before I move on, I'm going to take the sketch end of the marker and go along the bottom, just like I did with the sky, just so you can't see the white. I probably should have done it with the gray, but we can do that at the end. All right, so now we have 4 more colors to work with to build in some dirt. So I chose E55, which is like a light caramel. And now I'm going to start building onto what I already have out here. This is a little bit more on the orangey brown that I don't usually use for the dirt, but I'm just kind of going over and extending out from where I put those original. I won't start doing the blending it until the next color. So I'm just kind of doing some random stuff here. This is just, you can practice doing random, but I mean, every single time it's going to look different. Going over what I already did. Yeah, we can't show that yet. That's not out yet. That's not released yet, honey. He sees stuff on my desk he's trying to share with you guys, and you can't even, you can't see it because it's not released yet. Thanks, Mama. I'm glad you like it. This is, all of this part right here is all just, I'm just randomly winging it because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. But I had a little bit of an idea. So I'm just starting to build in this. It looks really crazy right now, but just hang in there with me. We'll get this blended out. It'll look more like dirt. But right now, it looks a little crazy. I'm filling in a little bit with just some of this color. And then going over the darkest color and extending out. It's really random. The whole thing is really just random. I am putting a lot of color around. I want to make sure that I have it around the edges. I just like it that way. So I'm just going to make sure all the way around the edges has some color to it. Okay. Next, we're going to jump from the 55 color family because I feel like that's a little bit on the orangey side. So we're going to move over to the 40s, E40s from the 50s, because I think this brings it more back down to like a brown. You'll be able to tell as soon as I start putting this color in how different that is. Again, I'm just blending, moving my marker along. I'm going over where those other areas were, filling in some of the white areas because this is supposed to be the true color, so we're starting to build that in. And then we'll be doing blending out with the other 2 colors we have left in our combination. I'd probably do this with a little more detail doing it slower, doing a little less scattered, if I were going to leave it completely visible, just to get a little bit nicer look, but it's kind of coming out good anyway, so. I mean, not very many people say, hey, just randomly color on the bottom of your paper and it's going to look like dirt. Just mix some colors. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but in the end, it's handmade. There we go. So now we have 3 colors down. We have 2 to go. One we started with as the base coat. So this one, I'm going to actually go to using the back to the chisel side, and I'm going to start blending this out. So just kind of like we did the sky, only now I'm starting to blend. Just so I don't have any white spots and so everything starts to blend together. I'm kind of liking how this is coming out, though. I don't know about you guys. We're going to use the last color to move ink around wherever we want some lighter spots versus darker spots. So there we go. Look at that. Look like dirt to me. Looks like the dirty side of the road. I could put little pieces of trash, but that would be really sad. Because that means somebody threw them out the window. Okay, so with the E41, I'm going to use first the chisel end, but I'm going to do it really fast. This is going to be one sweep just to allow it all to blend together. And then anywhere I want it to be really light, I'm going to go over it just a couple of times in that area. It's just going to give a little bit lighter area in some spots. It's not going to do a whole lot. You're not going to see a whole lot. But trust me, you need it in there. It was the base coat. I'm not pressing hard. I'm just throwing some ink in there. It's also going to give some texture because it's going to start moving that stuff around. So there we go. That's what we have. We're going to put snow over it so you won't see all of it. It'll look like a Texas icy snow. But there we go. So far, so good. We have a road, we have a sky, and we have a ground. Okay. So I think I want to put some trees. Like they're in this side, I want there to be some trees in the background, like they're driving past pine trees, if you will, in the distance, not right by the road. So I'm going to put a few of them here. I don't know how much of them you'll see once I put the trees in the back of the car, but I am going to throw a few little trees in the background. So this is the, that's the way I make little pine trees. This is YG99. I want them to be in the distance so they're not going to be really big. They're going to be very small. You're really only going to see them at the top of the car, at the top of the truck. So I'm just doing some brush strokes going one way, then brush strokes going the other way. You're like, oh my gosh, you didn't need any of those pine trees. We didn't, but I wanted to put a few of them in the distance. So I'm going to keep going. I need them to overlap a little bit. So it looks like they're all out there. I got that one a little wiggly. I guess I should turn my paper. I'll make it go a little smoother. But don't worry, we're going to put some other colors so you'll be able to see the details. Going to kind of overlap these trees a little bit. Maybe one more right here. So I don't want to put them over here. I just want them to look like they just went through an area that has a whole bunch of trees. We may have to put more in, but we'll see once we add the next colors. So I have YG 95 and 93. So I'm just going to kind of go over where I put those last colors with this other one, filling in the empty spaces in between. It's lighter colors, so you should still see the texture. Extending out just a little bit further than where I put the last ones. So you can kind of see them coming to life a little bit. It looks like a Christmas tree farm. Anybody want to buy a Christmas tree while we're driving past? They look like little Christmas trees back there. It looks like I got like a really sticky marker because it's leaving some dark areas and some light areas, but it's okay. We got this. And we haven't put the bottom of our trees on there yet, so we're okay. Okay, so we have a couple of trees back there. We're going to use YG 93 just to smooth this all out. So I'm just going to put a little bit. It's my third color to just kind of fill in some of those empty spots. So notice I'm not using nearly as much as I did with the other colors. But I'm filling in anywhere where there was blue. It looks like I have a sticky marker that's misbehaving, which is very unfortunate because it's giving you some really dark look on the screen. But I have a way to try to fight that. And it's too late because we're already doing it, so we can't stop now. Don't freak out. Wait till the end. Don't leave me. Okay, so let me look real close. So there is some shiny. See that shiny on there? That means one of my markers has, like, it's dirty or something. I need to look at the nibs of those 3 markers after the video. But you can, we're going to go in with an eraser and take some of that off, and that will help. I also have E27, but I'm not going to focus too much on the bottom of the tree, so I'm just going to put in these little lines here that show the bottoms of the trees, which really helps those come to life a little bit, adding those little trunks of the trees. So it was just a little line there. It almost looks like they're in the truck a little bit right now, but they won't. It won't when we're done. Okay, so that got us some trees. I'm going to use, this is just a plain eraser that I usually only use for this purpose. I make sure that the back of it is all cleared off so there's not any like pencil eraser-ish stuff. And then if you go over really lightly over where the shiny part is, if it's not too shiny, it'll take that shine off. So we're going to fix that. And that again is another tip or experience. If you see how much better that looks, I'll show you up close so you can tell. See? No more shiny, thick shiny spots on there anymore. Now we just have trees. You love the trees? Yay! They're pretty easy to do. They're pretty easy. So now we have to work on, before we do any of the snow, we have to work on the trucks. So here's our trucks. I put a self-healing mat underneath it. I'm going to use this. This is going to make everybody go, eee! Now you're going to cut it after you colored it? I am. I'm going to open up the back of the truck. So I'm just going to cut along this line, right where the truck is. I may need to go up a little, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. But if I don't need it, you won't be able to see it. I'm going to do the same thing with this truck. It's just an X-Acto knife, just following along the line of the back of the truck. So what I did was I opened up my truck. Both of my trucks are opened up now. And that's going to allow me to take these presents that I colored earlier in the video. I have 3 green and 3 red. I want to mix and match them. So the one with the solid golds are going to go with those. Is that how I want to do that? Red and gold and silver. And then I think these are going to go, this one will have 2 silver and this one will have 2 gold. They're universal enough. I'm pretty happy with that. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take those presents and we're going to put them in the vehicles. So I am going to start with the red one by tucking it in however I want it. So I want this one to be a little bit turned towards the front of the car, almost like he's losing his little present. I'm going to put this one towards the back. See, it's going to cover up the trees a little bit. And then I'm going to put this one in front of the one in front and behind the one behind it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so now I have presents in the back of my truck, which I'm super happy about. So once I get them exactly where I want them, what I'm going to do is use my how genius. You like that, Renska? I'm going to take my Barely Art glue and I'm just going to hold them down here and put my glue underneath and just squeeze a little. I don't need these completely stuck just yet. What I want to do is just get them on there so I can glue them from the back. So I'm going to use my, I hope I got glue out of it when I pressed it. Let's see. Oh, I did not. Probably doesn't have any glue under it. I haven't used my glue in a while. I got a little booger on the top of it. A glue booger. Hold on, let me get it off. Okay, and let me shake my glue one more time. Make sure it's coming out. It's coming out good now. I love this glue because I can just rub it between my fingers after I put it on my finger, and then my fingers aren't even sticky. So let's try that one more time. Put this up under there and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Oh, I know it's coming out that time. This glue dries clear, so if it comes out from underneath the present, it won't matter because it dries clear and you won't be able to see it. Okay, so now I'm going to come to this side right here where the presents are. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue them down here. So they're glued on the front and the back. That way they stay in place where I want them to be. And now we have 3 presents in our truck in the back. Yay! And they do kind of stick out a little because we added them after the fact. So they're super cute. I'm liking how this is coming out. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start with the red one because I want the red one to be closest on this one. I'm going to kind of turn it a little bit. There we go. I don't want to cover up the truck too much, so I'm trying to turn this one quite a bit. Might be better to put the red one at the back, I think. Maybe the green one. I think I want the green one towards the front. That way it's not so obvious. And then this one goes in. Ooh, did you guys just hear my stomach growl? I'm hungrier than I thought. Ooh, they're falling. They're falling. The presents are falling. I want to scoot this one over. I need it to be covering both of them. So just a little bit of manipulation there, but once we get it where we want it, I'm going to turn that one a little bit. There we go. Once I get it where I want it, I hold the bottom of the presents, slide this in there, squeeze a little bit of glue. Again, I'm okay with it if I get the glue on the picture. Oh, thanks, Mama. It's genius. It's genius. And it's not that hard to do, but it's super fun. So now we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to lift up, put some glue under there. We're going to press it down so it stays. I accidentally printed our inventory sheets on our amazing paper, so that's what you guys are seeing. So I was like, I'm not wasting that paper even though I printed the wrong thing on it. Oh, looking so cute. So, so cute. Okay, we have, but wait, there's more. We're not going to stop yet. So we made these little lights, remember? So we're going to add some little lights to the back of our car. I mean, to the car. So I want my little lights. I kind of played with them, and I think that they look really good if I place them about right here. So we're going to have lights on the truck, or we could do them around this part right here. No, I like them. I like them right here, like this. I'll lay them on there, and you guys let me know if you like them. I'll lay this one like this. This one will go here. And that one will go there. And then we'll have lights. But wait, there's more. Yay! Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to turn this over. And this precision tip is going to make this really simple. You barely press on the glue. The glue comes out. You don't need that much. You just need a little bit. Once I have that, I know how I want to put this up here. So I'm going to go ahead and sit it right where I want it to be. Lining up one side first, and then the glue gives you a few seconds to move it around before it sticks for good. So now these trucks have lights. So we have Christmas lights and Christmas presents. How could it not be a Christmas truck? This is super cute, isn't it? This is fun. This is coming out way better than I thought. I mean, I thought it would be cute. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. But I wasn't sure how cute. So let's put these little lights on here. So again, these lights came from the Rudolph stamp set. That's the one with the Rudolph and the moose. And the presents came from Elfin' Around. There we go. Let's press that down. I'm going to turn it over real quick and just give it a good smooth run over that, just to make sure that they stay where I put them. Because that's what I really want them to do, is stay where I put them. That's awesome. I really like it. So we have a sentiment that's going to go right here. That's why I only put the trees at the back. And then I should probably add a tree right here, I think. It's going to bug me if I don't, I think.
Or some green to make it look like a hill. Or
Yeah,
snow.
it needs something right there. Although we could put snow there, that's for sure. But I think it needs one more tree.
Michelle, I tried talking her into it.
He did. He tried to talk me into it today. And I was like, I think I was going to use the other one. I'm just adding one more tree because I feel like it just kind of needs that. Although I am going to put some snow back there. I know that my marker was kind of acting crazy. So I'm hoping it's not going to get all shiny again. You're so funny. It's a little shiny. I won't lie. It might have been one of the blue colors that had some pigment or something that's causing it to do that. But we know we can fix it because we already did once. And then I'm going to take my brown again with the E27 and just draw the bottom of the tree. Trees are never all in the right place. So there you go. That's a little tree forest they just went past. Okay, so next, ooh, this is fun. Isn't this fun? We can really decorate this up. Okay, did you shake up my stuff for me? That's going to be our last step. Now we need to put the sentiment on there. Merry Truckin' Christmas. No, just kidding. I think I'm going to use it from this sentiment set. It says, may all of your regifting go unnoticed. I think that's funny. So we're going to go with that. So it fits really perfectly right here. It's like just the best. And I was going to stamp it on paper, but I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp it right on top of here. Good luck to me. I've done this before. You guys have seen me do this before. It doesn't scare me so much to just stamp right over here because I'm using the Misty. Want to make sure that's straight. So I'm just going to look at the lines on the grid lines just to make sure that's straight. And then I'm going to, oh, my chair is making all kinds of noises. I'm going to use the Memento ink again. I really need to get a new one of these. You guys hear this every night. I need a new one that stamps a little better. So we will probably have to stamp twice.
Isn't that the one you put back at Joann's?
It was, I know.
Half off.
I had one that was half off in my hand at Joann's when they were having the sale, and my hubby was like, don't you need that? You should get that. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I have one. And then it started misbehaving, and I was like, dang, I should have bought that. So I'm just stamping it twice. I want it to be pretty dark, so if it doesn't work out, it really was my chair. It was this arm of my chair rubbing on my desk, but you know, hey, whatever. Anyway, so there we go. Looks like I have unicorns on my tire. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's my ink pad. I'm gonna take this off. So now we have, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I'm super happy with how it's coming out. Forgot to put my magnet back on. Okay, so I think what we want to do before we do the, well, no, we need to do the snow first because, no, I think we need to put the card together first. So let's do that first. So I chose a red card base. I'm going to use my espresso here to burnish my edge. I'm going to put my white card piece on the inside, which is already measured to the right size. I'm going to use my Barely Art glue for that. Okay. Uh-oh, I'm going to stand up to do this. Oh, what? Did Rosanna Diana ask something that I missed?
About the chair.
Oh, about the chair. My chair was making squeaky noises. Kind of sounded like I tooted, but I did not, I promise. Okay, so I stood up, so my voice probably got really loud, even though I tried to talk more quietly. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, rub that really good. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my name on it right now, since I'm making it. I'm just going to use this Memento pen to sign it. We got a little picture of me on there. And then I'm going to flip it over, and there's a couple of things we're going to do. So we're going to do, let me see if I can zoom this. Oh my goodness. I hate when this starts acting crazy. Okay. So I wanted to zoom out a little bit so you could see everything I was doing. So I chose this red card base. I think it's perfect. I'm so glad I chose it. But I was thinking before I put the snow on there, I had to attach it to the card, because then I won't be able to rub it on there because the snow puffs up. But I also have to heat it, which I'm not really excited about heating it already on the card, but lesser of two evils, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and stick the card base on there. I'm going to stick the card on the card base. So put me some glue on here. This is also going to keep the presents down, because now they're going to be glued again to the card. Going to stand up. Aw, thanks. You're so sweet, Mama. Okay, so we're going to add, we still have to add snow, and I want to put some accents on our lights. Some little accents to make them stand out just a little bit. It'll be easy, but it'll need to dry after we do it, so it has to be the very last step that we do. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this card. The back looks really cool. It usually does when you use your Copic. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my heat tool real quick just to heat it up. Make sure that it's okay. Yeah, it's hot. And then I'm going to shake this. The back looks really cool too. I know, I love it when I get done with the picture and it looks like they like I colored the back. Okay, so I'm going to start putting some of this. You have to kind of goop it up, I think. And we're going to put it along the road. I want to kind of put it all throughout here, but we're going to put just a little bit first, and we're going to see what it looks like, and then we'll do more if we, after we start drying it and seeing what it looks like. So it looks really wet and kind of gross, but what happens when you heat it up, well, we hope it works. Okay, starting to work now. You're gonna start seeing it turn into snow. So now we have this puffy snow at the bottom. Can you see it? You can probably see it. I did it pretty thick, so, but I want it to be snowy, so. Yeah, this was Stampin' Up, and I haven't had it. I've had it a really long time. So now we're going to add some more. I want to put a little down here at the bottom, and then I'm going to start going out. It kind of blends together already when I start doing it. You're just not supposed to put it real thick, but I did, so there we go. Okay.
Can I suggest an alternative?
No. Not right now. Not while I'm working, but you can in a minute. Battery. But that's okay, we're almost done, so low battery is okay. Now that it's not moving around as much, I'm going to hold it up. I'm sorry you have to listen to my heat tool, but we need it to really see it start doing what it's supposed to do. The more you hold it there, the puffier it gets. So you can see it puff up. I don't know if you guys can actually see it puffing up on the video, but isn't that super cool? I'm not going to cover the road. I'm just going to put it out here, and then I'm going to put a little bit along this side of the road. And then I'm going to use the gel pen in the trees. So just up to the road, like everybody shoveled all of the snow off onto the road, off the road, onto the side of the road. Unfortunately, my heat tool doesn't reach too far, so that's why I have to hold it so far over here. So let me see if you guys can see this happen a little bit better. You see it bubbling up? That's super cool, isn't it? It is really cool. So now look, see how much it sticks out? It looks like snow all over the bottom. Isn't that cool? It's super duper cool. I think I need a little bit more in here, like just because it looks kind of funny, but it looks like it's the day it's all drying up. I need a teeny bit more, and then we're going to put it on the other end. The other end of the road. This stuff is cool. I'm telling you, I've had this stuff for several years, and I never used it because I don't know, I just never did snow. I mean, I live in Texas. It is, what are you using for this? Oh, what is it? So it's called Snowfall Accents Puff Paint. It's puff paint by Stampin' Up. And you just shake it, and then you can just put it along the road like this. So I'm just going to put a little pile over here. And then you just turn the heat tool on, let it start heating it up. And as it dries, it starts to dry, and then the longer you hold it, the more it starts puffing up. It's really super cool. I think it needed that, just that little bit back there. So I think I'm done. I don't want to put any more of that on there. So, yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's something from Stampin' Up. I don't know. Somebody said, you should get that. It's really good. So I did. But I didn't really know what it was. Okay. So I'm going to use my white gel pen real quick. And I'm going to fill in some little areas where maybe I wanted a little bit more snow, but I didn't want to put any more of that stuff on there. So I'm just going to fill in a few little white areas so I don't have too much of the brown showing through. So I feel like it needs that. Now, honey, did you say you had another suggestion for snow?
Yeah, so there's two of them. One is at Hobby Lobby in the model train area. You can get snow flocking, and so you can put your glue down and then sprinkle it on top, and then once it's dry, you can put more glue and sprinkle some more to layer it up to give your bumpy texture. Or if you want to go really cheap, you can also use baking soda or baking powder with the glue.
They're going to be asking you to show them how to do that. So I just filled in some of the areas where I wanted just a little bit more of the white on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some in the trees. Not a lot, but just a little bit. On the edges of some of the leaves of the trees. Just putting a little bit on there. Just so you can see a little bit of snow has laid on the trees as well. We don't want a whole lot because it's not, it's all on the ground. It's not on the trees, so if the wind's blowing, there won't be that much on there. But we want a little bit in the trees. I think you kind of need it. So I'm just using my white gel pen to go over some areas that I want to put a little bit of snow, and then before it dries, I'm touching it with my fingers so that it's not too stark of a white. I'm just following the same pattern of the way that I put down the green, but I'm putting down white. Sometimes I'm touching the paper, sometimes I'm not. Next card making class will be snow making, right? Okay, so now we have these trees with some snow on them. We have snow all around our highway. And we have one more step to do, and this one has to dry overnight. So I'm going to show it to you now. It's called, what an awesome job you did tonight. I love this card. Thank you so much for showing us how to make this card look like this. Oh, you're so welcome. So one more step is this glossy accents. You can buy it in small bottles, but this one was half off on Black Friday. So I got the big bottle because the other day I wanted to use it and I couldn't find my bottle, and you know. So I'm going to tap it a couple of times before I use it just to try to get any bubbles that might have formed when I turned it over. And then I'm just going to put this glossy accent over these lights. Right now they'll look kind of washed, bubbly and washed out, but when it dries overnight it'll make them look shiny, which I think helps with it looking like a light instead of just turned off bulb. And I'll show you up close as soon as I get this glossy accents on there. Some people use these for glasses. We could also put it on the window or the headlights or whatever you want, but I want these lights to stand out, so I'm going to put it here. Okay, I have it on each one of those, and then I'm going to put it on this one. I'm just squeezing out a little bit. If you get a bubble in there, you want to pop it because you don't want any, because when the bubble dries, it'll pop and leave a big dent in your picture. So you want to make sure you don't have any bubbles in there. So that's why I tapped it before I started, just to have a second chance at, really? It's your favorite card I've ever done? Aw, I'm so glad you like it. Okay, so when I hold this up close, I want you to be able to see how shiny the light bulbs look with the glossy accents on them. When they dry, they stay shiny like that, so kind of makes them stand out. So there we go. There's a beautiful card with 2 trucks from a stamp set that is not a Christmas stamp set. And we just made it into a Christmas set with presents and lights from 2 other sets. Now, how fun is that? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm all finished. This stuff it's all hard now, so you don't have to worry about it like crushing or anything in a envelope or anything like that. So, yeah. Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot the lines in the road. I'm glad I noticed that before we stopped. Okay. I need my lines in the road. Do you need my address? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so I need to make these lines in the road. So remember, we're going to make them white lines. White they can't cross, dotted they can cross. So we're just going to do a dotted line. Trying to touch it really lightly because I don't want to put too much on there. I don't think this pen liked writing over the snow at all. So it needed to be wiped off because it's not happy. It's not happy with me at all. All right, now let's try it. Oh, much better. Okay, now it's behaving. It didn't like me writing over the snow. I should have used my other pen for that, but whatever. So we knew where the dash was going to be because we left that. Okay, there we go. Now how cute is that? Now it looks like it's a 2-lane road. I don't know what I'm going to do with this card. I'm super excited about it, though. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You might want to send your address just in case I decide to send it out to somebody. You might want to PM me your address. If I get enough addresses, maybe I'll do a drawing and send it out to whoever wins, whoever's name is drawn. That would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? I really said, though, I can always make another one. I can send it to you, too. I can always make another one. Look how cute that is. Oh, my gosh. And it's signed on the back. And you can write whatever you want in the middle. I did say it was for, I might be making it for my mom and dad. I did say that. And they said they have a dump truck in the yard. That was a lot of work. A lot of work. But I love it. And it was fun. And it really wasn't that bad. I mean, I didn't think so. I've struggled with different cards a lot more than I did tonight. So, yeah. So I love it. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. Had a lot of techniques, a lot of changes, a lot of different stuff you could do. We used all the colors of gray so you could see how they all look.
And combining different stamp sets.
Yeah, combining different stamp sets, masking, how to do trees and a road, and yeah, just so much stuff. So I hope you guys really, really like it. It was a journey, but it was super fun. And today is only Wednesday, so you guys get me again tomorrow night. Remember, I always do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9:30. So I will be back tomorrow with something brand new to start with. And I will see you guys then. I hope you guys have a good evening. And thanks for sticking out with me. Good night.